After weeks of careful thought, I've decided the right thing for the Bureau is for me to serve until the end of the current administration in January and then step down.
What's your reaction to Ray's resignation?
We look forward to a very smooth transition at the FBI, and I'll be ready to go on day one.
Well, John, Christopher Wray, the FBI director, is making this announcement right now in an all-staff town hall with thousands of FBI employees across the country. He says now is his time to go. As you mentioned, he has a 10-year term. All FBI directors do. He was 7 years into his 10-year term, and realistically, he had two options. Wait to be fired by President-elect Donald Trump because Trump announced Kash Patel would take over, or bow out before. He has chosen to bow out before. Wray is a former Republican lawyer, former DOJ prosecutor here in Washington, D.C., hired by Trump in 2017 after Trump fired James Comey after the entire Russia investigation probe. And Wray pretty much stayed out of the headlines as much as he could, at least. But in 2022, former President Trump became increasingly angry when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago during the classified documents investigation. Of course, that was ordered by Attorney General Merrick Garland, who oversees the Justice Department, not Christopher Wray. But nonetheless, Christopher Wray saw the future and saw that it is his time to go. So he will be stepping down, as Kash Patel, the upcoming FBI director, if confirmed, is on Capitol Hill. So the director right now is making this announcement to an all-staff meeting. We're waiting to get some wording of some of his comments.
And this really marks the end of what was a delicate dance for Christopher Wray, where he tried for years to keep the FBI away from partisan politics and stay off of Donald Trump's enemies list, even as the FBI was running investigations of Mr. Trump. During the first Trump presidency, Wray had managed to avoid the worst of Trump's criticisms. Those were directed at special counsel Robert Mueller, who supervised a special team of FBI agents investigating whether Mr. Trump conspired with Russia or obstructed justice. And then during the Biden presidency, Mr. Wray really couldn't avoid crossing Donald Trump. He oversaw a massive FBI investigation, as everyone remembers, of thousands of people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, and also the investigations into Mr. Trump's role in the effort to overturn the election in 2020 and into his handling of classified documents. Director Wray, of course, approved the FBI search of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago compound in 2022, and that's something Mr. Trump never forgot. In fact, he brought that search up over the weekend in his interview with NBC's Kristen Welker when he said that Mr. Wray, quote, invaded my home, and he added, quote, I'm very unhappy with the things that he's done. Mr. Trump also made clear he was annoyed when Chris Wray a few months ago questioned in a congressional hearing whether Mr. Trump actually was hit by a bullet during that assassination attempt against him. Wray later clarified that it was either a bullet or bullet fragments that struck Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump said in that interview that he had a lot of respect for the FBI, but the FBI's respect, he said, had gone way down over the last number of years. And he's right about that. Polls show that around half of Americans don't trust the FBI, although trust is higher among Democrats than Republicans. But perhaps no one is more to blame for that than Mr. Trump himself, who has baselessly accused the Bureau of conducting witch hunts against him. In fact, outside reviews found that the FBI had ample reason to open its investigation into whether the Trump campaign coordinated with Russia in 2016. And of course, the FBI uncovered significant evidence of wrongdoing in the January 6th classified documents investigations, which led grand juries of citizens in Washington, D.C. and Florida to vote to indict Mr. Trump. Christopher Wray was appointed FBI director by Mr. Trump in June of 2017 after Mr. Trump abruptly fired then Director James Comey in a controversial move that, of course, resulted in the naming of special counsel Robert Mueller to investigate whether Trump obstructed justice and conspired with Russia. And that was only the second time in history that an FBI director had been fired before serving a full 10-year term. Mr. Trump has now essentially engineered the third such oust.
Kash Patel, I think, is going to do a very good job at the FBI. I mean, this is someone who is chief of staff to the DOD, someone who is deputy director of national intelligence, a prosecutor, someone who is a public defender. He brings a very unique background to this position. And when you see some of the Senate heavyweights who've weighed in favorably on Kash Patel, in fact, Chuck Grassley said that he expects that Kash is going to sail through. Kash has been very impressive in these meetings, and senators take serious the interview process. process before they get to the actual confirmation hearings. So if all of President Trump's nominees, as part of the transition team, what we're doing with the confirmation team is getting people ready for these. But these folks, they're studied up. They know exactly what they want to go in and do. They know the particulars.